$600 billion. That's how much money Elon Musk has. Now, forget Elon Musk. This is you. You wake up early, alarm, dark outside, your body's tired, your mind's already stressed. So you get ready, you commute, traffic, you check your phone, emails, messages, deadlines, you studied, you did what they told you to do. School, degree, certifications, you play the game by the rules. So you got a job, 8 hours a day, sometimes 10, sometimes 12. So you skip lunch, you stay late, you say yes when you want to say no. You come home exhausted, you eat whatever's fast, you sleep whatever's left, so you adapt. Overtime, second job, side hustle, you trade weekends, you trade nights, you trade time you never get back. Bills, rent, food, debt, student loans, credit cards, interest. You want a family, can't afford one. You want kids, to delay it, you delay life. You watch other people move forward while you're stuck trying to survive. So you stay in a job you hate because missing one paycheck scares you. You smile at work but you break in private. You feel stuck, you feel behind and you don't talk about it. Stress turns into anxiety, anxiety turns into exhaustion, sometimes depression. So years pass, same routine, same paycheck. Prices go up, your time gets cheaper, your effort increases, your freedom disappears, you work harder, far further behind. Stop. What if I told you there's a way out? Would you believe me? Let this circle represent the wealth of the richest men in the world. Now hear me out. The average American hourly wage is about $28. At $28 an hour, working 8 hours a day, that's about $220 a day. Over a full year, that comes out to roughly $60,000. That's normal life, by the way. Doesn't even move. Now, we'll stretch that across an entire career. Let's just say 40 years of work. So that's about $2.4 million. Okay, seems like working for 40 years is not enough, so I might have to exaggerate just a little bit. We'll see. Hypothetically, if you were to work for 1,000 years, you'd have $60 million. Whew, looks like you finally moved the needle. But you know what, man? I want to go further. Supposedly you work for 100,000 years. Damn, Bob, sucks to be you, mate. You would be dead and you would have $6 billion, which only represents 10% of Elon Musk's net worth. Listen, this is not about showing off someone else's net worth or working for an impossible amount of years, which you're never going to be able to do anyways. The point I'm trying to get is working harder is not necessarily going to make you rich. Oh my God, Samuel, so you're telling me that I have to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life? Stop again. That's not what I'm saying. See, there's one problem here that you're not understanding. You got the equation wrong. I mean, really think about it. Given the fact that we all have the same 24 hours in a day, what are these people doing that you don't know? And how are they so far ahead? How do you even explain that? Well, the game is rigged. It's always been and it's always going to be unfair. There's privilege and the starting points are different. But even though there's a lot of injustice, let's take a look at some of the richest people in the world. Look at people like Warren Buffett. He started investing as a kid and built his wealth slowly through capital and compounding, holding a net worth of $149 billion. In other words, self-made. Or Bernard Arnault built an empire by acquiring brands and controlling distribution with a net worth of $178 billion. Self-made. Larry Ellison dropped out of college, saw an opportunity in enterprise software, and scaled it globally. Net worth of $225 billion. Self-made. Are these people geniuses? Are they lucky? Are they just the exception to the rule? And most importantly, how can you do this yourself? How can you get rich? The truth is, if you want to make as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time, you have to change the way you look at money. There's a key idea you need to understand to become successful. Because the path to getting rich is not easy. Working hard alone won't solve your problems and most people will quit halfway through the journey. But if you stay until the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how this game works and how you can start playing it too. So buckle up, because you're about to uncover all of the principles of wealth. Money, the root of all evil. Something portrayed bad by the movies in society. If you got rich, you stole from someone. You must be hiding something. You took from the poor. There are so many beliefs and misconceptions about money that it makes me go crazy. But let me ask you a very basic question. What is money, actually? To answer that, you have to go back to a time when none of it even existed. We're gonna go back thousands of years though. There was no such thing as economies back then. People had to survive, so they lived in small groups, tribes, villages, families, and every single one of them had to contribute to something real. Some hunted, some gathered food, some built shelters, and some made tools. But as time passed, they came into an interesting realization. They didn't need to be good at everything. A hunter didn't need to make his own tools if someone else could do it better. A builder didn't need to hunt if someone else could bring food. So they traded. I'll give you meat if you give me a spare. I'll build your shelter if you share your harvest. This was the very first form of economic exchange. But this system had a serious limitation. It only worked when two people wanted exactly what the other had, and at the same time. So what if I had something valuable, but you didn't need it today? What if I helped you now, but you couldn't repay me until months later? And what if I had skills, but not goods? So as societies grew, this problem became more impossible to ignore. So humans had to solve this problem. They needed a placeholder for value, something that didn't need to be eaten, worn, or used, only recognized. Salt, shells, livestock, and gold. Different societies chose different things, but the logic was always the same. This thing has value because everyone agrees it does. That's the moment money is born. Money became a way to store value over time, a way to transfer trust, a way to say, I've contributed before, so I can claim something later. So fast forward to today, this agreement never changed, which leads to a hard truth. Money has never rewarded effort. It rewards perceived value inside the agreement. This is where jobs enter the picture. What is a job really? Job is you saying, I'll give you a fixed amount of my time, and the system replies, this is what we believe that your time is worth. That's it. A salary is just a price tag on your hours, and time is finite. You only get 24 hours in a day, and you only get so many years in a lifetime. That's why working harder by itself has a ceiling. Okay, Samuel, I understand you need a higher perceived value, alright. Now, what should I do with this information? Hold on, I'll walk you through it. Let's put real numbers on it. 2 people, same city, same month. Person A works retail, full-time, 40 hours a week. So we are gonna say they earn around $10 an hour. That's $1,600 a month before taxes. They're tired, they're present, they're very hard workers. Now person B, also full-time, also 40 hours a week, but they graduated. They have a specialized skill. The market sees them as harder to replace. So they earn around $30 an hour. That's about $4,800 a month. Same hours, same limits, 3 times the income. So the agreement here just values their time differently. That's the perceived value. But do not get it twisted though. This alone does not fix everything. It's just one piece of the puzzle. Increasing our perceived value helps, but it does not build wealth by itself. All you did here was raise the price of your hours. You're still trading time, you're still capped by the clock, you still wake up and sell another day. So a higher ceiling, but still a ceiling. So to go further, something else has to change. You have to stop asking, how do I sell my time for more? And you gotta start asking, what value am I creating beyond my hours? And that's where the next layer begins. We need to talk about something very serious, solving a problem. So you thought getting rich was easy, maybe I'll walk in the park, maybe you're gonna think about it today and then tomorrow you're rich. Well. Think again, buddy, because that's not how it works. You need to solve a problem. Not a math problem though. Well, technically you could do that too, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a different type of problem. Let me walk you through it again. Remember when I mentioned Larry Ellison in the beginning of this video? He got rich because he solved a very specific problem. Let's slow down and actually understand what problem that was. So back then, companies were starting to collect huge amounts of data. Customer information, sales, inventory, and logistics. The problem wasn't a lack of data though. The problem was that the data was chaotic and all over the place. It was slow to access, hard to organize, and almost impossible to scale. So big companies had information, but they couldn't use it properly. So what Larry did was build a system that allowed companies to store, organize, and retrieve data efficiently. That system became enterprise software, and later, that turned into Oracle. You see, every large company had it. Banks had it, airlines had it, governments had it, and corporations had it. The bigger the company, the bigger the problem, and the more valuable the solution. That's the key. Allison didn't become wealthy just because he wanted some money. He became wealthy because millions of dollars were already trapped inside inefficiency. Once he solved the problem, that value was unlocked, and then money followed. He solved the problem. How about Jim Simons? He was not a trader. I mean, he wasn't even a Wall Street guy. He was a pure mathematician. But don't underestimate the guy, he was serious. So serious, in fact, that he became a professor at Stony Brook University and later even ran a top secret code breaking institute for the US government during the Cold War. So one day he woke up and said, I want to make more money. A lot more. So he hired the most intelligent mathematicians, physicists, statisticians, and cryptographers in the world. Then they spent years collecting market data so he could open his own fund that averaged 66% per year for 30 years, essentially outperforming every hedge fund in history, including Warren Buffett's.
Huh?
Yes.
Then he became the 55th richest person in the world that made over $30 billion, all of that thanks to statistical edge and his pure genius.
But they were very, very smart.
Yes, they got very rich.
Very, very smart. And
Very smart and very rich. Yeah.
Oh, I think I understand it now. So all you gotta do is be a genius and then solve that problem, and then hopefully I can be rich. Well, that's half true. Although yes, you gotta be intelligent in some way. There's a guy who's not that much of a genius, yet he's solving a problem and he's making a lot of money. So that gives us a chance. And you might be wondering who that person could be.
What kind of car is this, baby?
I show speed.
Like, look at his legs. Oh, his legs not even that muscular. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
Let it out!
Okay, Samuel, hold up. What are you talking about? Speed is a guy who's acting like an idiot on the internet and he's not solving a problem at all. What does he know about solving a problem? Well, according to the World Health Organization, over 280 million people worldwide suffer from depression. It's one of the leading causes of disability on the planet. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people lose their lives to suicide, often silently battling something nobody else can see. And in a century where pressure, comparison, and loneliness are amplified by the internet, sometimes the most powerful medicine is not a pill, it's laughter. And besides that, the entertainment industry solves the problem of boredom. So therefore, he also solved the problem. It doesn't matter if it's a soccer player dribbling past defenders, an NBA superstar draining a three-pointer, somebody inside their bedroom yelling for thousands of people, someone rhyming words and creating a song, somebody shaking their butt half naked, or somebody kicking someone else's dog. People will pay money to consume these things. And if you go even further down this rabbit hole, you see entire companies built around this idea. Studios like Rockstar Games creating massive open worlds where millions of people can escape reality for a few hours, developers like Naughty Dog turning video games into emotional cinematic experiences, or platforms like Roblox connecting millions of players across the world inside the same virtual universe. All of them have done the same thing. They added value to other people's lives. And if you want to build wealth, you'll eventually have to do the same thing. And once you truly understand that, we can move into the final layer of this puzzle. The ability to create value once and allow that value to reach millions of people. In other words, leverage is what allows a single idea, product, or system to impact far more people than one individual ever could. Listen, if you want any chance to really become financially independent, you can add value or solve any problem in the world, but if you don't leverage it, or in other words, scale it, you never get rich. See, a doctor saves lives, he's essential to humanity, and without this professional, the world would simply collapse. Teachers educate future generations. They add so much value to society, it's hard to measure. But the only problem here is, as I said earlier, their impact is tied directly to their time, meaning no leverage. Unless they were to change the dynamic. Maybe they'd have to create something. A teacher writes a book, then makes sales online. That'd be a nice example of scalability. Or maybe create an online platform, charging a monthly fee in exchange for their knowledge or service. They have to change the dynamics of their work, modify it to create leverage. Every single person that ever went from nothing to wealth had to use this concept. Warren Buffett used the market to gain leverage. By investing in good stocks, over the course of the years, he multiplied his money hundreds of thousands of times. Grand Theft Auto was a product, a game that was distributed across the entire world. A platform like Facebook waited years working on putting billions of people on it, owning their attention just so other companies could buy ads to sell their own products. They did that at scale. The result? Billions. You're fighting against time. You have inflation. Every single day your money loses purchasing power. Prices keep rising. The cost of living keeps increasing. So if your income stays the same, you're just slowly falling behind. You have to find a way to solve a problem, whether it's through entertainment, offering a service, leveraging through investing or trading, or creating a product or a business, and scale that to as many people as possible. There's no other way. Once you've created this scenario, you just repeat it until you generate millions. And one day, if you get really successful, billions. So yeah, good luck.